everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dana. As always, I am here, well, not as always, but I am here today to review sunscreen. And this is one of my favorite like indie brands out there. I found them, let's see, what year is it? It's 2025 right now. Sometimes I have to question what year it is. And I think I found this brand Lightsaver in 2023. They were in my favorites that year, whatever year I found them. And they only had this one, which was the activated mineral sunscreen. They have it in the shade Tinted and then 01 or something, like the non-tinted basically. And then up until now, they only had this. And then they came out with these, which are the Triplesome Serum Sunscreens. So that's what I'm going to be reviewing today, these bad boys. And I'm also going to be obviously comparing the two shades. We have another tinted and untinted. That part was a little confusing, and I'll explain why when we get into it. But I'm also going to explain or show the difference between the finish of these two. There obviously are differences, otherwise they wouldn't have made a new sunscreen. But I think the differences beyond like price and like SPF and obviously ingredients is more about finish. And the finish is gonna be kind of the deciding factor, I think, in activated mineral sunscreen or the Triplesome. So, a long-winded intro, you know, I like to give you all the details. That's why I can't do TikTok, nor I'm way too old for TikTok. And I can't do Reels because I have too much to say. I'm sorry. Anyway, it will be timestamped if you don't want the blabber. And I appreciate every like and every subscribe that I get, and we'll get into it right now. Okay, so I'm gonna put this one aside. This is the old activated mineral sunscreen. And we're gonna focus on the new Triplesome Serum Sunscreen for now. So as I always do, I will be doing a split face comparison, one side with the tinted, one side with the non-tinted, and I will give you all the details on them. And then of course I will give you kind of my thoughts, the finish, all the things. And we'll get into it right this second. I don't know where my 1/4 teaspoon is, but let me go find it. Okay, now that I'm back with my 1/4 teaspoon, I will be doing a split face, but when I do a split face, it means that I don't necessarily put a 1/4 on each side. I do an 1/8. And I don't have an 1/8 with me, so I just do half of a 1/4. I mean, that makes sense, right? First things first, let's shake them both up. Look at the... My skin on my arm is flapping along with everyone else laughing. We got about an 1/8. This is the non-tinted, and I will do this side of my face, because why not? Okay, we are talking about the Triplesome Serum Sunscreen. So this retails for $55. You get 1.35 fluid ounces, which is 40 milliliters. That is less than your standard amount. Normally you get 1.7 fluid ounces, which is 50 milliliters. So it is a little bit less, and you actually are paying $10 more than the original. As far as our active ingredient, we have zinc oxide at 15.7%. It does contain butylloctyl salicylate. I always like to call that out. It's not an issue for me, but you know, some people are sensitive or they just have an issue with it not really being 100% mineral. This one does have your DNA repair enzymes, just like the original, but this one has a Triplesome Repair Complex 3. So it is 3 DNA repair enzymes encapsulated in liposome for optimal stability and absorption to help restore, soothe, and repair sun-damaged skin. Neither of the sunscreens have a scent, and they are not water resistant. As far as our consistency, you can see when I'm applying the Triplesome, it is a serum consistency. That's what the name says. It's a serum sunscreen. It would make sense that it would be better for normal to dry skin, but I do think this actually works on quite a few. I would say like combo and maybe oily. You would probably need to powder, but it is quite flexible. It's not overly glowy, which is a great thing because there's so many sunscreens out there that are they just feel like pure oil. And this one, while it still is a serum, it doesn't feel that bad in that sense. Okay, I wanted to kind of show you the difference in natural light. I'm standing right in front of a window. This is the non-tinted side. You can see, especially like by my hairline, that's where it's the most noticeable. It's not a terrible cast. I've seen worse, but also I would need something over that. Now this side, I could go out of the house. I could go out, you wouldn't know. I wouldn't say that it gives me like a tan look, but it just cancels out the white cast, which is, you know, kind of the point. But this is kind of in natural light, so you can see it's not that, like, it's pretty subtle, I would say, compared to some where the tinted side looks orange, non-tinted side looks like a ghost. This is a little bit more subtle. Okay, I have rinsed off the non-tinted side. I still have the tinted side on, and now I'm going to compare the original activated mineral sunscreen on one side to the tinted. These are both tinted, so tinted Triplesome, tinted activated mineral. So this is the original Lightsaver activated mineral sunscreen in the shade Tinted. They also have an untinted one, but I do not have that because I don't need that. This one works perfectly for me. Like I said before, this one is a little bit less. It's $45. It is 1.7 fluid ounces and 50 milliliters. And it is SPF 33. I forgot to mention, I don't know how, but our Triplesome is SPF 40 and the original tinted activated mineral sunscreen is SPF 33. So not the highest, but also, you know, SPF 30 is pretty much an average sunscreen. So I do love that the Triplesome is a little bit higher. And this one has 14.2% zinc oxide. And again, it does have beta-lactal salicylate, which would make it a hybrid sunscreen. I don't think it's a bad thing. I just like to call it out. I actually think it makes the formula and elegance of the formula a lot better. I think if it were just zinc oxide, you probably wouldn't like it as much. And then it does have photolyase, which is your DNA repair enzyme. And this one does have a whipped consistency, which is great if you do have more combo oily skin or even normal skin, or if you have dry skin and you just don't want to glow. But it's not super matte in the sense like a drying matte. It's just a little bit more natural matte finish. Okay, so this is what they look like. This one has had probably like 10 minutes plus to kind of be on my face. And the activated mineral I obviously just applied. It has not had time really to sit on my face. But you can see there's a slight difference. This side definitely is gonna feel a little bit more glowy in a sense, because this side is gonna be a little bit more matte. So I'm gonna finish up my makeup and then we'll come back and talk through everything. Hello and welcome back. So I have my makeup on for the day. I have half and half of the tinted of the Triplesome and then the activated mineral. You can't tell a difference because the tints are so similar. Like I said, I'm going to talk more about it in a little bit, but that is going to come down to the finish more than anything. On top of my face though, I don't have much. I have the Dior Forever Glow Star Filter. This is like a less crazy version of the Charlotte Tilbury. It's a version of the Chanel illuminating fluid that I loved, but the Chanel one only comes in 2 shades. This comes in like 12. So I love this, especially when I just want a little bit more color, but not more coverage. And then I just put concealer on the T-zone. So that's kind of it. But of course, I'll link all the makeup below if you're interested in anything. So let's get down to what I think about this sunscreen. I think it's beautiful. I really love this brand. I love what they do. I think they are so specific in thinking about the types of people it's going to work for in terms of our finishes for the 2 sunscreens, as well as the tint. That is one of the biggest things, and one of my biggest complaints more often than not is that when you have a tinted sunscreen, it oxidizes so bad, or it just starts out so bad. It starts out orange, and it's like, there are people that can work for it, but most people don't want it to oxidize that badly. So like, how are people, when they're formulating these products, how are they not thinking about that? And I feel like one of the things that Lightsaver does really well is thinks about the tint, and especially like, I would say like a more neutral tint than a lot of, like I said before, warm tinted mineral sunscreens. We also have to talk about the DNA repair. Now, when I first reviewed this on my channel, there is a full review on it. I don't think I knew about DNA repair enzymes, so it was there, and I think it's, what is it, photolyase, which is the formula or the ingredient in the original. but I have become more and more aware of DNA repair enzymes, more and more in love with them. And this one also has that. It has a complex of 3 of them. And so I wouldn't say, I don't know the science behind or the ingredient amount behind each one, but I feel like they've maybe gone above and beyond what they did before. So if you're looking at it just for DNA repairs, I have to venture a guess that this one may be better, but again, I'm not an expert on those types of things, and also I don't really know what ingredients are, how much of the ingredients are in each one, and there's just a lot more nuances to the ingredient list than what I know. So regardless, each one, they both have that, and I do love that fact. I also love the fact that it is not the most expensive. Now, the original was $45. That feels expensive, but also nowadays we're looking at sunscreens that are $55, $65. This one is $55. So I would say for an indie, but still high-end brand, it's sold at Sephora now, $45 for the original. It's a lot, but it's also, I don't want to say it's not a lot. I mean, it is, but it's not as much as some. It's always going to be the case. Now, with the Triplesome, we are getting into a higher category of prices, $55, and you're only getting 40 milliliters. You are getting the original 50 milliliters, which is standard in the original. So, you're getting a more complex, more elegant formula with a lot of really fancy ingredients. So I would consider, for the DNA repair enzymes that you're getting in this, along with the formula, along with the tint, $55 is actually not that bad. You can look at DNA repair enzyme products on the market, they're $110. So I guess you got to think of it that way. But I do understand that this is a functional ingredient. People are using a lot of it every single day, and you can go through 40 milliliters pretty quickly. So I always like to keep that in mind, but I do want to point out that the ingredients in it are pretty remarkable, and I would feel like as an indie brand, putting it out for $55 is pretty good too. Okay, so I talked a little bit about this before, but I think the main difference is going to be the finish. And I actually, on my skin right now, it looks pretty similar, both in the mirror and on camera. It looks like it's got a little bit of glow, but not too bad. I tamped it down with a little bit of powder in my T-zone, like I always do. But I still have a nice glow. I just look healthy and radiant. Now, part of it is from the Dior, but even before, when I was just taking pictures and showing you in natural light, I still had that glow. But the texture and the finish can be quite different. This is a serum consistency. It is going to give you a little bit more of that glow, which is consistent with a serum. Whereas this one is your typical whipped, almost matte consistency. But it's not a drying matte. Every time I've used it, I never feel like my face is gonna just crack and fall off. So it's a really beautiful consistency, especially if you do have more normal combo oily skin, but it doesn't dry you out either. Now, if you are dry, you have dry skin or extra dry skin, this may dry you out. It's not gonna be, I don't think, one that you would wanna reach for, but I think it is really good that it does cater to a lot of the other skin types that aren't always catered to. As far as setting down, today is a very humid day. I looked at the temperature, and let's just do it for shits and giggles. It says it's only 77 degrees outside, but it also says the humidity is 82%. And I think it could actually be higher. So it's a little warm, it's a little sticky, even inside. I don't pump the AC. So I think if you live in a different climate, you have a different skin type, maybe you blast your AC, you're gonna get different results. So I always try to explain that, because what I do for my face, it's 80 degrees inside. I don't like the AC super high. So if I did have it cooler, it would be probably set completely. And both of these do set, where the Triplesome, I would say maybe not as much, just because the serum consistency, but again, climate, skin type, what you do with your AC, or if you have AC, that kind of thing, it's gonna all kind of factor into it. So I do wanna show you the swatches, and I'm gonna actually apply some as well. This is a super helpful thing, especially with a tinted sunscreen, so let's do that right now. Okay, so it's kind of fun when you can't even see them. This is the activated tinted sunscreen. This is the Triplesome Tinted, and then this is the Ivory. These have all been on my hand, my arm for like 20 plus minutes. Now, let's apply it freshly. Okay, so this is freshly applied. I should get these first. And you can see that there is a difference. They do oxidize slightly. And actually the Triplesome right here, the tinted one is on the left. And then this is the dried down. It actually dries down, I would say more neutral. It looks a little bit more orange originally, but dries down a little bit more neutral. And in terms of the original formula, it does dry down a hair lighter than the Triplesome. And then we have the shade Ivory, which, you know, it's gonna just dry how it is, but it does pull a little bit more yellow. So if you would like, you can pause this here and save this picture. Okay, so I think that is it. I think that there is one of these sunscreens that can work for most people, and I think it's gonna come down to your skin type. Maybe more oily combo skin would go with the activated original one, and then more normal, I wouldn't say dry skin, but Triplesome would be for like a lot of skin tones. It really, or skin types, it works on a lot, but a little bit more of that glowy kind of look, as is normal with the serum sunscreen. So kind of depends on you. I think both of them are absolutely stunning. This brand is just one of my favorites. I have loved the original for a long time. I'm very glad that I have the new Triplesome in the tinted shade, but I also, and I almost forgot to mention this, it's a little tricky. Their website, you know, they are an indie brand, so sometimes I give them a pass, but they didn't distinguish the shades very well, and they didn't have swatches. So I actually put swatches on Instagram. Obviously I did them here on my arm, but if you're looking at it, it says tinted and then Ivory, but the Ivory doesn't look untinted. So in my head, I was thinking, okay, well, it's tinted, but maybe like a light tint, and I like that. But really the Ivory is non-tinted, and then the tinted is tinted. So if you're worried or considering or confused, because I got the Ivory originally and then they had to send me the other, that hopefully will clear that up for you. But I think if you do have light, medium, and up skin tone, you're gonna want the tinted. If you have fair skin tones, the Ivory could work, but it's not gonna work on a lot of people without anything over it. So that's it. I feel like that was a lot of information. I hope you enjoy it. I know you can't get this in all parts of the world, but I do love this brand, and I vouch for all of their sunscreens. I think they're fabulous. So I hope that helps, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.